One and all, episode 25 of Jag Blitz. We're a quarter of the way to 100 episodes. Can you
Damn,
believe that?
that's crazy.
I am your host, Lob I'm here with my wonderful and gracious co-host, the MC Wale. We are on the start with this quarter centennial episode to our new format where we're going to be short and sweet. So the two topics we're gonna kind of go over this evening are gonna be the Dante Fowler video that surfaced, and then Malik Jackson potential slash free agency. So Wale, why don't you start us off with good old Dante Fowler?
All right, so if you're unfamiliar with the Dante Fowler situation, I believe it was early yesterday morning. TMZ posted and shared a link to a video that showed Dante Fowler and his girlfriend and baby mama in some sort of incident inside of a Florida apartment that happened earlier in the month. And of course, the way they phrased it was Dante Fowler referees, fight between girlfriend and baby mama, trying to sensationalize the video. And when you actually clicked on the video, what you saw was just a small clip of what appeared to be Dante Fowler Jr. and a female lady that he was with having a conversation kind of in like an alleyway of an apartment building. Then you see him kind of move out of the way. You see this girl take off her flip-flops and then proceeds to attack the other woman. And then the next clip you see is Dante Fowler kind of like, as these two girls have fought into the floor, you see Dante Fowler kind of going in there and breaking up the fight, and that's really all you see in the clip that we saw yesterday. And of course, the internet is abuzz. Everybody's talking about it. Oh, some people feel that this is an incident that people need to really look into. We don't considering the NFL is having such a bad time with domestic violence situations and players and other incidents. So the NFL decides that they're going to step in and kind of step in and investigate. Now, I've personally seen the video. I know Lawrence has too. There's really nothing in this video to get worked up about outside of the fact that you have these two girls scrapping in the middle of an apartment complex. Like there's not much that Dante Fowler could have done in that situation. And I know a lot of people are saying like, well, he's the man. He should, kind of keep those two girls from fighting and all of this stuff. Look, if you've ever known two girls that hate each other, if they're gonna fight, they're gonna fight. There's nothing you can really say or do that's going to, make that okay. And so I think Dante kind of just stepping out of frame and kind of stepping away from the situation and letting those girls handle it the way they saw fit until he felt like he needed to step in was a wise move. I think ultimately nothing's really going to come from this outside of the fact he's going to have to answer a couple of questions for the next few months about it.
So for the most part, screw fake controversy. For the most part, I'm pretty much fairly agreeable here. My thing from watching it is you had Dante Fowler, this woman, whoever she is, and all of a sudden this person comes out from the elevator and they're talking, and we don't know the audio, so we don't know what's said. We don't know if he was like, hey, stop it, I'm sorry, da 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 da. We don't know about the diffusing of the situation or what he tried to do. And then in the video, the woman takes off her flip-flops. You mentioned it. Like, so this woman has fought before. Like,
The plan was to fight.
yeah,
She was going to do it.
she has made the mental judgment of like, okay, well, I'm gonna take my flip flops off because I'm gonna need better leverage when I'm beating the stuff out of you, because I don't want to slip. So that to me was like, nope, nope, I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm gonna back away. And it's kind of one of those things. Again, I watched a few other videos of women brawling, and just to kind of put in comparison.
To frame it.
Well, no. I had to see what I'm saying because, like you said, some people are like, "Oh, he could have stepped in. Oh, da da da. He could have, should have, would have, whatever." And some of the other videos that I saw where somebody did try to step in, they got clocked,
Yeah.
and or they ended up hitting one of the women in the process, whether it's incidentally or intentionally, because these two women are just going. They're just going, and it's at that point where they are ignoring everything around them, and the sole purpose of what they're trying to do is to injure the person that's across from them.
Right.
So I agree with you in a sense that it's a non-win. It's that it's being stuck between a rock and a hard place for him. And I saw people try to compare this to Ray Rice, and I was like, oh my gosh, please
You
no.
how? How is
And
that even possible?
because it involves violence between women, and he was there. And then I got into it with this bro on Twitter about how that somebody said, oh well, not somebody. He's trying to say, oh well, you guys should have drafted Vic Beasley. And I was like, why? And he's like, oh, because Vic Beasley has better character and he's not a thug. I'm like, excuse me, hold the phone. How does having baby mama drama make you a thug slash indictment of character? And he got really mad because I quoted his tweet about it. He's like, oh, don't blast me on your followers. I'm like, okay, my 255 followers really care here.
Yeah, but then it picks up by my 200, no, my 2,000 followers, and then gets picked up by someone who's
I know. I'm just sitting there.
So it could happen.
It could, but I'm sitting there going like, okay, how is having to me, everybody that's an adult or the older you get, drama's a thing. And regardless of what it is, baby mama drama, life drama, work drama, family drama, like you're going to have drama your whole life. It's a matter as to how you deal with it and also how you decide to diffuse it that comes across as a potential indictment of your character. To me, the guy went through, this happened at the beginning of February and immediately went to the team, was like, hey, I'm sorry, I screwed up. And immediately told the team there was no cover up. There was
Not even that I screwed up. It's my girls were acting dumb. Like that's what it breaks down to.
All right, I
I'm
wasn't
sorry
gonna
to
say that, but
no, I'll say it. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but it's like, look, we've all been in situations where whether it's a girlfriend and an ex-girlfriend, a girlfriend and a sister, a sibling, whatever, where you're in a situation where two people are at each other's throats or about something. And even though you're trying to be the bigger person, say, hey, like go into both parties and saying, hey, don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself about it. Look, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. After a while, these people are going to get into it and you're going to have to say, you know what? Do whatever you're going to do. Handle it yourself. And that is exactly what Dante Fowler Jr. did. I can speak from experience, all right? I've been out so many times and, you see skirmishes between people that people don't even know that break out for no apparent reason. The last time I stepped in between two girls fighting, I ended up cutting up my fingers due to some girl swinging a broken beer bottle.
Oh,
all right,
shit.
that's a lesson. That's a lesson learned. All right, I'm never stepping in between two girls
Yeah.
that I don't know ever again.
I've
So
never
imagine
done
these
that.
are two women. Yeah, so imagine these are two women that he does know pretty well.
So no,
No
that's
win.
kind of the general consensus as I have. I mean, it's a lose-lose, and he did the best that he could. So
Fair enough.
we'll move on to our last topic of the evening. We got about four minutes and some change. So it has been rumored that Malik Jackson wants a bunch of money, and that he and Denver are at kind of not opposite ends of the spectrum, but they are definitely, there's probably a $4 million gap between what he feels like he is worth versus what Denver's willing to pay him. And then there was a report by one of the wonderful Sports Nation groups, Mile High, who said, the Jaguars, quote unquote, covet Malik Jackson. So I'll hand it off to you. What do you think here?
I say pay the man. I know that the rumor that I saw was that he was looking for a 5-year, $75 million contract. And even I looked at the numbers and I said, whoa, that is a lot of money that he wants. And then my follow-up response to that was pay it. You know why? Because you have the money, you've got the cap space, you might as well make a move. Now, the only downside to that is, you have a guy who's going to play inside for the most part on second and third downs, and you already have kind of a guy who fits that role in Jared Odrick. But I also feel that once you start building a base where you can actually like rotate players in to be situational players, I think you're gonna be setting yourself up for a lot more success, especially if they go hard into free agency after defensive linemen and pass rushers to begin with. So if Malik Jackson wants 15 a year, I'll give him 15 a year. Let's roll.
I'm for the most part fairly similar. I was talking about this with somebody today at work, and I said, okay, so hypothetically, let's say Fowler's 100% healthy. You've got Odrick. You sign Malik Jackson. And then Jalen Ramsey is not on the board at 5 when you get there and you draft Joey Bosa or DeForest Buckner.
Or Noah Spence
Yeah,
or
you
those
draft
guys.
another pass rusher there, and you do something similar that the Giants did a couple years ago and put in a quote unquote NASCAR package and say, all right, go get him. And on third down, like how awesome would that be to sit there and have a group of just pure pass rushers all going at the same time? Would you be mad? No.
No, I wouldn't be mad. Not at all. Let me actually pull up something that I was texting my buddy Kyle Shug earlier today, and we were talking about would we rather have Olivier like Vernon and Ramsey or Weddle and Bosa, and that was an interesting conversation to have.
Bosa. If you're gonna pick, if Ramsey's not available, if Ramsey's available, I'm always gonna take Ramsey.
Which is fair enough.
Just because I think he's a better impact player at a position. If we sign Malik Jackson or Olivia Vernon,
here's what I had texted him. I'm sorry for jumping in here. I was like, on third down, imagine we rush Fowler, Irvin, Bosa,
Irvin. I forgot about Irvin.
Vernon, Ryan Davis and Derek Marks and Malik Jackson. Imagine we've got a rotation of those guys going after the quarterback on third downs.
It's a beautiful thing.
It sounds great in theory.
It's a beautiful thing to have. And that's where I'm at. We have an absurd amount of cap space. We are tied with the good old Raiders in cap space. Pay them. Why not? We're not paying anybody else at this point in time. And something Pete Prisco said, which was really weird, watching Pete Prisco and John Clayton give props to the Jaguars. Say, hey, for the most part, free agents are 2 to 3 years anyway, and then you're gonna cut them and move them. Why not?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna take the dead cap money. Do it. Why not? We have so much cap space. I don't see, if he's available, why you don't offer him and say, all right, hypothetically say you get rid of, Branch, you get rid of Clemens, and you're gonna have Bruce Irvin, and you're gonna have Malik Jackson, and you're gonna have this premium at a position we don't
Mario
have.
Williams.
Mario Williams too, and say, hey, I have no idea. It's not my money. Pay. I don't care as
That's
long
exactly
as
it.
we get pressure, because obviously last year pressure on the quarterback was garbage, and when Aaron Colvin is your sack leader on the team, that should be a red flag.
That's not good.
And if you can fix that, or not even fix it, if you can attempt to fix it with premium pass rushers. And also Malik Jackson's only 26. We're not looking at signing somebody that's 30, or 31 to some extenuous deal. He's 26 years old. Lock
That's
him
very
up.
true.
And then also make the Broncos fans salty as hell. By all means. Let's do 2 for 2 here, Julius Thomas and Malik Jackson.
I'm about it. Yeah, no. I like the idea of I like the idea of just being aggressive and going after guys. And if it's a fact of we're going to have to overpay, well, look, we've got the cap space. The salary cap is going up year over year over year, and we really don't have to worry about re-signing a bunch of guys until next year anyway. So,
yeah, you don't have to
you'll still have $50 to $60 million in cap space when it's all said and done. So go spend, get that 85% ceiling that we're supposed to hit, and let's ride it out.
Yeah, at this point in time, the people, if they don't re-sign Hearns or good old Jokel this season, they're going to be signed next season.
Well, think about it. Like Hearns will get re-signed this season. You've got a 5th-year option you can pick up on Luke Jokel, so that's still not a lot of money.
Yep.
And then going into next year, you have to re-sign Colvin, Telvin.
Telvin?
No, wait, we're not at that stage to sign those
I would
guys
say
yet. So you still technically have 2 more
you
years.
have 2 years before you got to sign Telvin, Colvin, Allen Robinson, and depending on how Allen Robinson does, he may get, and then same with Blake.
Well, even Blake has a 5th-year option.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Jags have actually set themselves up for the future very, very well if it works out for them on the success-wise on the field.
And that's the thing which was weird to watch John Clayton, and we'll probably touch on this next time about how that it takes 2 years to beef up one side of the ball, and basically everybody's saying the 2013 draft was garbage. And they're like, yeah, the Jaguars beefed up the offensive side of the ball in 2014, 2015, so they need 2 more years to do the defense. So I'd be curious to see if that happens.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't, like I said, if the offense can continue to improve, if the offense can stop kind of having these slow starts and stuttering, and your defense is 20th in the league. You're looking at
Yeah.
a team that's 9-7, 10-6.
So that's it. We're right around our 12-minute mark. You got anything left to add, sir?
Nope. Just hope you guys enjoy these quick hitters while we're thin on content. Hopefully, once free agency opens up and once the draft opens up, obviously we'll kind of revert back to longer shows. But yeah, I kind of like this. I'm hoping that the Jags do some. Hope they're really paying attention up there at the combine this week, because I know that they've got their scouts and their coaches up there. So utilize the time that you have with those players. Find us some good ones.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again. This will be on YouTube later.
All right. Have a good night, guys.